Alrighty. Interesting that I get to watch an ad on my own channel when I'm browsing. Probably start for real in a couple of minutes here for anyone who is watching this, which I'm guessing is nobody, which is absolutely fine at this stage. Alright, so now that's coming through. So you can see the ad from my channel coming from the past. And I am actually broadcasting sound tonight, so that makes an improvement on matters. Let's get that out of there. Get the chat up. That's as small as a Safari window goes. All right. Thanks, Safari. Probably minimize that just in case. Hopefully it'll play a sound or something if anyone does join the stream. Let's bring that back up. OBS. This does appear to be working. Shrink you down. Alrighty, what do we got? Yeah, that can just go. Let's get on to Twitter and say hello, streaming world. I am currently talking about post-production and Meteor and general editing stuff. Please join me. Right, tweet goes out. Let's see if anyone comes through from there. Highly unlikely, but anyone who does is more than welcome. Let me come back here. So, a little bit of background. First of all, the stream is brought to you by Kona Brewing Company's Longboard Island Lager. And I'm probably only going to stream for a beer tonight. It's about 10:30 PM on the west coast here. Been out for a very nice dinner. Thank you, Tim and Kel. So I highly doubt any productive programming is going to be happening just at the moment. So let me bring this up a bit while I'm withering away. Might as well. See a bit more as I put it on. I'm Robbins. I'm the co-founder of tangoEDIT, which is currently a cloud-based video editing platform available at www.tangoedit.com. There is a working version up there, which I would love it if you could go and try out. It's obviously still a very early version product, so the feature set is pretty small, but that's to be expected, and that means if you do come and check it out, then you're in a very good position to help me shape it into something a bit more modern. When George Lucas made got Edit Droid built back in the late 70s, early 80s. That was one of the first instances of the timeline for video editing, and that has been a very, very useful paradigm. It's obviously been the dominant nonlinear editing system basically ever since then. But I feel with tablet interfaces and phones, the touch-based interface, it's really time for an update on that. So I'm trying to build a new video editing system essentially from scratch, something that takes care of something that really utilizes the cloud. I want not quite a dumb terminal approach, but I'm trying to offload all the heavy lifting from the interface. So there should be just enough power to supply frames and playback locally, but in terms of color correcting and color correction, compositing, all that sort of stuff, that really should be done in the cloud and as fast as humanly possible. There's a few companies that are doing that, so it is my hope that I will integrate Tango with those. But essentially, what I'm doing is, I'm trying to build an editing system where you can wander around with your tablet and 4K, 6K, 8K footage is compressed and streamed down to you locally, and you can start cutting right away. So what I have at tangoEDIT.com is a system quite similar to other cloud-based editors out there, in that you have to upload your footage first before you can start working with it, which makes sense if you're not in a time pressure environment. I've never worked on a video project that wasn't time critical, so obviously that's not really a good solution. And it's necessary if you're going to work with people who are geographically disparate from you. Now, that's all well and good, but if you're using footage of any decent quality, like, for example, the last film I made, Tango Underpants, where, yes, the name does come from there, that was shot in Buenos Aires in 2013, and it was edited in Perth, Western Australia, and I was based where I am here in San Francisco, and I wanted to be more closely involved. Having directed the film, I wanted to be closely involved with the edit. I don't think that's too much to ask. But there was a terabyte or more of raw footage, which is a lot. And Australian upload speeds being, not to put too fine a point on it, crap, it would probably have taken somewhere in the order of 7 to 10 days of pure upload, not to mention actually having to store all that. Now, one of the issues that we have now that we shoot digitally is that the shooting ratios we use have gone up significantly compared to the days of film. When you have 11 minutes in a canister and maybe you've got 3 canisters of film to shoot your entire project on, you're going to be very, very careful about what you shoot, about rehearsing properly and doing everything right. And I was lucky enough to get to do that at film school and on one of our other short film projects. And it's incredibly good discipline. It's very, it makes you think about your shots. It makes you think about exactly what you want, what you need, which is, when you're telling narrative stories on film, that you do need to think all this through. But it's less of an issue now. A terabyte hard drive is a few $100, and honestly, it's nice to have the flexibility when you're on set, being able to go, we didn't quite nail that. You know, you don't want to get to, well, maybe you do want to get to Kubrick levels of, nope, another take, another take, another take, or up to Peter Jackson levels of shooting literally, I think, the millions of feet for some of the Lord of the Rings films. And his King Kong, I think, was 1.6 million feet of film stock, which is a lot. But we don't all have that luxury. But as I ramble, you'll notice with these streams I tend to ramble a lot, particularly after a few from the sponsor. Red Stripe, if you're out there, I also accept sponsorship from there. But where was I? Yes, shooting ratios. From that terabyte, we probably, you know, it's a 13-minute film. I don't remember exactly how many minutes we shot, but you know, let's say it's 10-1. That's 90% of wasted upload bandwidth and storage costs, and you know, storage is getting cheaper and cheaper. A terabyte's $10 a month from Dropbox currently towards the end of 2014. So that's, you know, it's doable, but really the amount of time you waste uploading it it feels unnecessary. I don't like it. I don't want to live in a world where that is the norm. I want to basically say, here's my hard drive that has all the footage on it, and I'm going to give people I trust access to that in a very, very simple way. I know there are programs out there that do this, but you know, you have to download, you have to install the program, you have to, you know, you're setting up a server essentially, and that's all well and good, but it's a lot of friction. It's a high barrier of entry, and you know, I want to see more people doing great stuff collaboratively. So I have the current editing solution. What I'm working on at the moment is trying to make browser video sharing a much simpler thing, and not just sharing of, you know, being able to watch the footage, but starting to edit from there. So you know, I find the take that I want of the shot that I'm looking at, and I find, you know, just 300 frames that I need for the cut. And if I just upload those, not only am I not uploading all the shots that I don't need to my long-term storage and wasting all my bandwidth uploading, not only not getting those shots, I'm not getting the parts of that shot that I don't need. But I still want to be able to browse and search around with those other shots as I go. Now, there's a wonderful technology called WebRTC, which is getting wider and wider adoption, and people are doing some fantastic experiments with it, screen sharing without plugins, video conferencing, sort of Skype without plugins, which is wonderful, fantastic stuff. And I think eventually will be the basis of how a lot of what I'm aiming to do here will be done. The biggest problem I have with that at the moment is that Safari doesn't support it, either on the Mac or on iOS. Excuse me. So in the meantime, I want a system where I can literally just drag and drop a bunch of videos into a browser, and if I give that link to people I know and trust and I'm working with, they should be able to see at least a thumbnail version of that video, and then they can select that, and they can direct the upload to get just the important parts of that up into the system, and then I should be able to access what I've got there from my iPad, cut the film, color it, grade it, composite it, do all that stuff from my tablet, sitting in a nice bar somewhere, I don't know, on the Amalfi Coast or something, ideally, but I'll stick with a cafe in San Francisco for now. So what I'm trying to do with the stream is stream for, you know, half an hour every day, if not more, just what I'm working on currently. So last night I did my very first ever stream, and I rambled, much as I'm doing now, for a good hour, not realizing that I wasn't broadcasting any sound. So that was a very auspicious start to my streaming career. But what I was doing in that was a bit of coding, which, yeah, so I essentially, every day I want to get up here, I want to share what I'm coding as I'm doing it. Hopefully, get some feedback from you guys. If indeed there's anyone, just checking here. No one in the chat room yet, which is completely fine and understandable. But yeah, I just want to I want to talk to people as I'm working. I want to build a community of people using this stuff straight away and giving me feedback on what's working, what's not. If you guys know a great library for doing video compression on the fly in JavaScript, I would love to know about it, because currently I'm researching methods of, grabbing frames, doing diffs on frames, and just sending the minimum stuff over the wire. So I'll show you what I have in this current little project. This is a Meteor app, and so what have I got? 250 lines of code. Not a great deal. Now, one of the issues I had with the stream last night was that running OBS at the same time seemed to be chewing a hell of a lot of CPU. So I was not getting very good compile times, even on my very nice MacBook Pro. But this seems to be a little quicker. I've downloaded, I'm not running in quite such high resolution. So what have I got? I have Firefox open here. I haven't had a whole lot of luck with Firefox. It seems to be very, very picky about what it will and won't will and won't play as videos. So Safari, give me a new window, and we'll get to the T1 project. As you look at my code, you'll notice generally it's not very error tolerant. It's not very clean. It may not even be that consistent. This is because for most of what I stream, I'll be, initially at least, it's probably going to be my little experimental apps. So instead of branching and making dev branches and stuff for what I'm building, I tend to just start a new project for the feature and just try and get that feature to work once, and then I'll go back and the next day or a few days later I'll rewrite it into the main code base if the experiment has worked out well. I find writing from scratch again the second time gives me a bit better, slightly better code quality, but I still try and do the right thing first time out. So it's not horrendous, but yeah. By all means, if you have any suggestions for code style or sophistication quality, any of that, I am very, very open to feedback on that front. Anyway, we've got that restarted. There's the Chrome window. Here's our Safari one. You might just be able to see that there's a green box on the side of here, which is a drop zone. So I should be able to drop in a video from there. So let's pretend that this one is my local and this is the remote machine. So from here, I can click through. Something odd happens in Safari where it likes to turn the video upside down. The first frame is the right way up, and then other ones are inverted. Not entirely sure why, but anyway, I can click through there, and now from this other machine, or the window here, but other machine, I can click through and go, okay, give me a frame just after the halfway point, and any second now. There we go. So what's happened there is that click. Oh, and it's gone again. Interesting. Bring me back another one. So when I click here, I'm using a package called Meteor Stream, which sends a message to this browser, which then goes to the video. I've got a hidden video tag in here, which is filling this canvas. Curiouser and curiouser. Fills the canvas here, and then I grab the image data out of the canvas, and then I send that back over the stream to this guy, who then puts that in the frame here. So it's a very, very, very simple way. As you can see, even on the local machine, it's prohibitively slow. I'm basically, I think that's the get image data call seems to be the slowest point of the equation there. So that's not ideal, but I've seen various ways of doing that that work in the local browser fairly quickly. Yeah, I'll be researching compression algorithms and seeing what I can do from there. It's a start. And once I've sent a frame, of course, I don't need to send that frame again. And I'm hopefully running off the theory here that you're going to care more about frame level things around cuts rather than using this, at least initially, as a full-on streaming thing. This is, it would be great if this were YouTube for, browser-to-browser YouTube. And if anyone has suggestions on how to help with that, again, very, very happy to hear them. I've done various little experiments with this before, and I could get from local machine at thumbnail size, maybe 5 or 10 frames a second. Not entirely sure why this new version is going quite as slowly as it is, but that's what you get. So I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do this evening. Whether there's some code I can usefully do. I might pull out some of these old. I like to have, if I'm working on a website, I like to have my to-do list built right into the page I'm working on to remind me where I should be. Just one of those little things to aid in not getting distracted and going too far off topic. So Chrome does show an image sent from Safari, so that is done. Let's see if we can go the other way. So if I pull steady into here, that becomes a video that I control and can access. So now if we go over to our Safari window, let's look at this one. So that's redone, move to the frame over there. It's a very static shot here, so you don't see much difference. And there we go, it's come back the other way, and I'm immediately not seeing anything. So what does my console say? Probably not much. Create object earl, exception in that, but when was that? I think that's probably early in the process. So 76. Do we get anything here? like I said, this is pretty nasty code to start with. Right, so I need to, let's have a little look-see at anything that writes to our context. So put image data, console log. What are we in? Frame response, writing to canvas. And let's say drawing. Canvas. How about CTX again? Draw image up here. So this is the get frame, is where I'm using the hidden video tag to draw to the context to the canvas, so I can get something. So get frame, drawing to canvas. CTX get image data from there. Yep. Create image data. So this is a little function that makes image data not attributed to the kind person on Stack Overflow who wrote that, but thank you, kind person. Good old Stack Overflow, where would we be without it? And I'm in frame response, so that's all of those there. Okay, so let's run that again. So steady mov, that's all in there, looks good. If I click in here, get frame drawing to canvas, great. Now let's head over to Safari and pull from there. That's got the image data here, sent over. Frame response drawing to canvas. Frame response. So, why is frame response drawing to canvas over here? Probably because I'm doing silly things with my network or my stream. Let's have a little look. So when I click on so video events, the metadata is loaded, it's a straight click, and so I'm emitting on any click that is hitting on this div here. So, but I'm only doing it if the owner of that video file isn't me. So I emit a frame request from one machine, and on frame request, I get a frame request, I build the image data, I log some stuff from a bug that I was tracking down earlier today. I emit a frame response, and because I'm sending frame response, I'm not actually, so in my server, I'm not doing anything to deny who gets a frame request and response. So anything that comes through, well, any frame response that is sent is going to get sent to everyone. So really what I need to do here, the proper thing to do is going to be to set up some filters in this part. Which I don't, it's not that hard, but I don't really have the brain power for tonight. So let's just go if requester equals meteor user ID return. So that means if I've sent it to if I've received one and it's one that I've sent, then don't do anything, and on response, width, height, frame data, video ID, we need to send the same information. So emit frame response, I'm shouting, I'm shouting. Hands up if you love Clue. Fine, fine film. Okay. So let's have a little try at that. I tend to do most of my development stuff here under Chrome, mainly because I like the way, could just because I'm used to it, I like the way the console works in Chrome. I don't like this persistent, I'm sure it's very useful to have at times, the persistent history of the console in Safari, but I like the way Chrome refreshes that. It keeps it clearer, and I get confused easily. So let's pull the pan into that guy. We've got a bunch of good stuff there. Clear out that. Pull the frame, get frame drawing to canvas. Image data, that's, why am I pulling that there? T1, JS58, line 58. Let's have a little look-see there. Console log image data. Because I'm getting frame. Okay, that's fine. I don't really need that anymore. Now, Safari. What do you got for me, Safari? Clear you. So I've clicked on that. Sent through. The frame's been built there. Let's come through on here. Bingo! Oh, look, I killed a little bug. How about that? Okay, so let's okay, we'll save that with just that, and now let's put, so we can send a frame either way. Now that is just horribly slow for something that's running from this machine. Like there is zero network latency in this scenario. So, what are my options there? I could possibly pre-cache things, but I don't mind a slight delay in at least the first frame, because if I can manage to send diffs in the meantime, that's not so horrendous. Sunjive Studios retweeted one of my tweets. Thanks, Sunjive Studios. Cool. I will have to view your profile and follow you. And has their retweet? No one in the chat room? Fair enough. Right, how's this beer going? The beer is nearly done. Look, I've squashed a little bug. I've blithered on at length about what I'm aiming to do both with Tango and with the streaming. So I think I will probably call this a night on the stream. I'm trying, my aim is to stream every day this week. I'm going to the Amazon AWS pop-up loft tomorrow morning to watch the keynotes for their AWS reInvent conference in Vegas is being streamed to, streamed to different locations around the world, but AWS Loft in San Francisco, it's a really cool setup. They get a nice place downtown, fill it with machines and smart people, and help you out with any AWS stuff that you're working on. All my compute and storage for tangoEDIT is being handled in Amazon Cloud Solutions, S3 for the storage and EC2 for computation. And they've been incredibly helpful while I've been doing all this. So if you're in San Francisco, I pardon me, urge checking that out. I know they do it elsewhere in the world. I think Vancouver sometimes. But yes, I've had very, very good experiences with Amazon, particularly on the cloud services stuff. Looked at the Google Cloud stuff very briefly. I like the sound of Go, but I haven't invested much time in it. Relatively new to relatively recently returned to the world of web coding. It's been a while since I'd done any, but and when I came back, I got into Node and Express, and then having found them, I discovered Meteor, and Meteor is bloody awesome. They just hit 1.0 last week. Congratulations to all the Meteor folk there. They've done a fantastic job at making something that takes a lot of the drudgery out of web development, to the point where they take out the drudgery from the simple stuff, and the complicated stuff, they've taken that, they've made that easy as well. To the point where there are features I can do for tangoEDIT that I wouldn't have, if I was doing it in Node or any other setup, by myself, I would never even consider being able to add, the real-time collaboration features that it offers. So if you're doing any web development, whatever scale, I highly, highly urge you to check out Meteor, www.meteor.com. It's just a really speedy way to get stuff done. And it's a joy to program in that environment. And I think it seems like we're getting to a point. We're getting to a point in computing where we basically have enough power. And we have had for a while, really. When you're talking about driving text editors, maybe not compilers so much. And rendering systems are always going to need more juice, and the problems we solve are always going to need a lot of computing power. But there seems to be a good focus of late on trying to make the process of programming, cleaner, nicer, simpler, more fun, less frustrating. Jonathan Blow, who streams under Naysayer88, mostly gaming, but he's been doing he's developing a new C-like game programming language, and it was watching his stream last Sunday night that actually convinced me that this is something I should do too. First of all, because it was very heartening to see someone with his many years of experience have a 2-hour bug tracking session, only to find out that in the end it turned out to be something, not quite a typo, but just the wrong variable being reported on. Very, very nice to know that I'm not the only one who makes those mistakes. And just, I could see people in the chat helping him. You can see as he's done a few just presentation things on the language, and you can see the ideas solidifying very quickly in a way that, particularly if you're working on something on your own, as I am currently on this, it's nice to rubber duck debug. It's nice to vocalize what you're thinking, especially if there's people who can give some kind of feedback on it, just to clarify what you're trying to do and how you're trying to do it. And people can say you're completely wrong. People can say absolutely you're right. And both are very helpful. And I think it's the act of speaking and sharing that is the important thing, which is why I have managed to chat for nearly 45 minutes. It's very slow for a beer, but chat for a long time. And it doesn't matter that absolutely no one is out there watching this at the moment. Just a quick, yep, still no one in the chat room. This is helping me get my head around what I'm doing, and hopefully will help me connect with people who are interested in what I'm building, and hopefully can benefit from what I'm building, and I can benefit from chatting with you guys. You guys being the future, you guys. So yeah, I am going to call the stream a night. I might do a little bit more coding, or maybe I'll do a bit more research. I'll find out if there are faster ways of grabbing those pixels. And yeah, if you do watch this in the future and you've made it this far, thank you very much for watching. Shout out to Previously Recorded Live, my favorite gaming channel on Twitch, and to Jonathan Blow, tangoEDIT. Thank you for inspiring this. I feel like I've gotten a lot out of it already. Hopefully we'll get more out of it when I'm not screaming into the void. So on that note, good night all, and happy gaming, happy coding, happy filmmaking, happy post-producing, happy drawing, happy painting, singing, guitar playing, oboe tuning, instrument making, writing, whatever it is you do. I hope it fulfills you and stuff. And yeah, maybe I'll be a bit less weird on the sign off next time.